Hey guys, my name is Arden and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, hey, hello. Click the subscribe button, click the notification bell to keep yourself notified, like this video, and comment down below if you read this book. If you haven't read this book, I would suggest that you first read it. I want to start off by saying that I'm not the most eloquent person. I'm just gonna give you points on what I liked, what I didn't like. It's gonna be very quick. We won't probably get into a discussion. Yeah, this isn't gonna be like a very in-depth debate. It's just gonna be my current thoughts as I just came back fresh from reading it. I have my review here. I have a few notes, so let's get started. I do have to say, before starting this book, I didn't know what this book was about. I didn't read the summary or the synopsis. I just dove in and I was very surprised because this doesn't feel like the Hunger Games book. This is very different. This is a standalone, basically. Obviously, the Hunger Games books follow Katniss and her life in the District 12. And in this book, we see what life is like in the capital years after the war. It was just very close to the war that I think ended District 13, and the Hunger Games were established to keep people in control and remind them that the capital always wins and that they will be punished if they disobey any orders or if they don't stay under their control. The Hunger Games is also a reminder that this is their doing, that they are being punished for their disobedience. The book follows President Snow before he was president, but I will still refer to him as Snow because I cannot pronounce his first name. Coriolanus. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna say President Snow, but you have to know this was before he was president. So in this book, we get to meet him as a character, and one of my main concerns was that he would be a character that people would sympathize with, that people would like, and then something dramatic would happen and he would be the person that we knew, the villain that we knew. I really like that this wasn't how his story was told. He had been a very bad person from the beginning. He was very motivated by his own desires and by his pride. His ego fueled a lot of the things that he did. He's a very selfish person. He would do anything to get what he wants, and lucky for him, somehow things always work out. He always comes out on top. If you read the book, you're probably sick of that saying. The story starts as the Hunger Games are being hosted, and this time, for the first time ever, they are going to have mentors, and funny enough, the very first round of mentors will come from the capital, and Snow is one of those mentors. We follow him on his very first day. Now, since the mentorship program wasn't yet established by that point, it was the capital's first time at trying out what it would be like, how it would work, of getting the audience involved. The game makers want to bring more and more attention to the Hunger Games because they're not getting enough viewership. I guess they want everybody to watch, so they want it to be entertaining, but not just people from the capital. They want people from the districts to watch, but there's a problem. People in the districts don't have money, they don't have TVs. Their programs are very bad. This is way back before they had established mandatory public screenings for the Hunger Games in the districts. So this was so interesting to see how the Hunger Games evolved from, what we saw in this book to the Hunger Games in the Hunger Games. Another thing I want to talk about is how interesting and disturbing it is how the tributes were treated upon arrival to the capital. They were literally animals. They were treated like animals. They weren't fed. They were kept, I think, in a zoo. Oh my god, that blew my mind, honestly. They weren't being fed, they weren't being taken care of. I was very worried that the book would make me want to feel for President Snow. Suzanne Collins, I should have trusted her. She knows how to make a good book with a great political messages and political debate. And not once did I sympathize or feel bad for President Snow. From the very beginning, he was a very bad person. I like that because sometimes people are just bad from the very beginning, Now, Snow is a great manipulator. He is good at showing people what they want to see, and he is good at telling people what they want to hear. He knows how to show himself in a different light, in a light that is not consistent with his character, I guess, that doesn't match his character and who he is as a person. People trust him because he's so good at letting them believe that he is trustworthy. It was very interesting how President Snow hated mockingjays from the very beginning. It was a little bit of foreshadowing. Also, Katniss, the plant, was mentioned in the book, which gave me such a feel-good moment, I guess. Now, President Snow had a little thing with Lucy Gray, who was his winning tribute, who ended up being a victor, and she is actually a singer. And what I thought was so, I say interesting all the time, but what really gripped me was that Lucy Gray is a singer, and she came up with songs that Katniss sang, and Katniss was a Mockingjay, you know, Katniss was deemed as the Mockingjay, and it was such a slap in the face to President Snow. I just like the Hunger Games and Katniss so much more now, just for that reason. There was a thing that happened in the epilogue that not shocked me, but had taken me aback because I didn't expect it to happen, and it only shows that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. I'm not the most eloquent person, but everything about this book was interesting. How many glimpses we got into the life before the Hunger Games, how everything kind of connected with our initial series without actually being set in the same time or having the same characters. Now, the reason behind my 3-star rating isn't because I didn't like this book. I did not expect it exactly to be like the Hunger Games, and I was clear from the very beginning it was not gonna be like the Hunger Games. But I rated it 3 stars because it was kind of slow and not that romance heavy, which is what I normally prefer. I prefer a book that has more romance, but because I didn't really like many of the characters or any of the characters in this book, I thought Lucy Gray was interesting, and I immediately felt for her because of the way she was written, but she was also kind of fleeting, I guess. There wasn't much romance in this story, as the book was very strict in its plot. There was not much room for anything else. It was just very straightforward. This book heavily followed Snow as our main character and his events that turned him, or that developed him, into the villain that he is. Throughout this book, certain events rooted this certain belief system in him that made him become who he is in the series that follows. I very much enjoyed the political aspect of it. I thought that it was interesting to read. It brought up many good points whether humans are prone to violence, in the sense that are we naturally violent people. It really got the debate going with different characters that we saw in this book, because President Snow is one of those people that would fit into this category in this theory that humans are inherently violent, whereas his friend, I'm not gonna mention his name, I don't want to spoil that much, showed a different side of humanity where he was more human, you know, more sympathetic to people's struggles. This book explored many different sides of humans and their humanity through its characters. I thought Snow was a well-developed character. I thought that his overall story was okay, but the book was too slow for me and there wasn't enough romance, which kind of made sense because for the type of book that this is, I definitely do not want to have a romance take away from its messages and the plot. A lot of people didn't like Mockingjay or didn't like the Hunger Games because of the lacking romance. I like that Suzanne Collins doesn't let the love and the romance take away from the story. The focus isn't the romance. The focus is what the Capitol is doing, the people suffering, and the political messages in general. I'm waving a lot in this video. It also took away a little bit of my enjoyment, but I do agree with the author's decision not to include it that much into the book, you know? So if you've stayed this far with me, I will be linking down below a few videos if you want to check them out. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm gonna take off. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe to my channel, check out my social medias, and I'll see you next time. Bye!